So let me go pretty quick on this home box. Okay, so negative values you do not get shipping. Okay. So okay, so this is the one. Even if you are not entering email ID, letting you this. Okay, I'm muting everyone. So if anyone is interested, you can unmute yourself and you can check. Okay. Fine. So yeah, this is the one I was looking for. Like when you're clicking on reset form, right? It's not actually resetting. Okay, so that's also was an issue. Okay, good. Okay, so I was actually looking for more better more better issues. Let me show you like what you guys have missed. Okay. So here, right, whenever you see the right in front of the page, you see this copyright issue, copyright 1997. So this is not 1997, this is 2017, right? So this they have to change. So this is the issue. See, if it is like finance, that's fine. I mean, I don't think people care much on that, but it's still, let's say, a compliance issue. If you're working on a healthcare project or whichever is related to, healthcare issues, right? So this is very important. You cannot just put 1997. Close this. Okay. Okay. So you cannot, ignore this. This is an issue when you are working in healthcare. Okay. So this is the one nobody opened this issue. So let me give you one more issue which no one has opened. This page. So I told you please look in all pages. This page. Whenever you are hovering your mouse over this image, you see this image is going, the cursor is changing to hand cursor. First issue. The cursor is not supposed to change in the hand cursor. This is not URL. This is not link. This is not Amazon.com. We are not buying anything in this page, right? Okay, that's fine. Now, whenever I click this, oh, server error. So this is an issue. So this nobody has opened, right? So this is also an important issue. Whenever you are hovering your mouse over this image and clicking on this, there is a server error showing up, and this is not supposed to show up. Okay, so these two important issues which you guys have missed. So that was, this was pretty obvious. Okay, so this issue, you guys, somebody should have been taken this. This is pretty obvious. Just look into the page. You don't even have to navigate any button, navigate any web page. Just right in front of your page, copyright 1997. As we know, this is not 1997. This copyright issue is no more valid. Okay, so they have to update this copyright issue to 2017. Okay, they have to install the certificates and a lot of stuff, a lot of work at the back end, but it's still an issue. Okay, so nobody has opened these two issues. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you one more homework that will be, the final homework. So people who have missed it, can find more issues. Okay. So we'll continue to our class. So today we'll go to, okay, so let's see what's our syllabus. So, okay, so we'll go to the rally tool. Okay, so let me sign out. So what is a rally? Sir, as I told you, rally is a test management tool. So what's a rally? It's a test management tool used in Agile. Okay, so why do we need this? So again, you have written, issues, right? You have came up with issues. You coordinated with your lead, and the lead said, "Go ahead, open a defect." Now, okay, now you don't know who is the developer, who is the architect, who is the guy you need to report. It is a document issue or it's an architectural issue. Is it a code issue? You don't know anything about it. Okay, so everyone are new. Don't worry about it. So you want to coordinate with them. So this tool will help you Okay, so once you open this issue, once you assign that, particular person, the appropriate person, appropriate developer, appropriate tester, or whoever it is, once it has been assigned, those guys will start working on it. Okay, so this tool will help you to do that work. So you cannot run around. Maybe some guy is in offshore, somebody is in, onshore. Don't even know which country he is. So all those things. So we cannot, go run around. We cannot call. That's not a good way to do the work. So that's the reason you have this test management tool. So all the issues, whatever you open, whatever you do, create test cases, all these things you will be doing in one tool. So here we will be working on Rally. So Rally is a test management tool. So by end of the today class, by end of today, I'll be giving you access to this tool. Go ahead, log into it, and I'll be giving you homework. Make sure you guys do the homework, okay? So let's say you have this username and password, and let's click on that. So once you log into this tool, we have a lot of information here. Okay, you have this dashboard. So this is so this is a dashboard. Okay, and lot of information here. If you are free, just check it out. If you're interested, which dashboard you want to you can remove right from here. Don't remove that for now. Just leave it the same. You can just have a look what's the information here. Okay, here you have your defects, here are your test cases. Good. Now let's see, once you get access to this, you need to figure it out which project you're working on. Okay, once you get access to this Rally, okay, you need to figure it out which project. Let's say you figure it out, let's say you check with your lead, you check with the business analyst, you check with your developer, you figure it out. And let's say there are so many projects here, right? I mean, so here I actually, changed a little bit. So now, of course, you'll be sure like, okay, I'll be working on testing. We are not a developer, we are not in production, pre-production team. So really, it's not our business. We check it out. Okay, so this is a project I'm working on. So here, it's simple, very easy. Because I made it easy. Just don't expect so lenient from the client place. You need to figure it out the projects. Okay, they will say some number or some project we are working on. Right. So now let's click on this, and we are good. Once you do that, now we are in right project here. We have plan, track, quality reports. Let's go to the plan pretty quick. Once you click on that, you have a lot of options. We want to go to the user story. Click on user story. Okay. Now there's so many user stories, right? This is nothing. This shows only 52. Only 52. But there are so many user stories. This is nothing, right? There's a lot of things goes on in a project when you are in project, and in one project there are subdivisions, and there's a lot of iterations going on. A lot of things. So here, what you need to know is which user story does your testing belongs to, right? Which user story does your testing belongs to? Now, once you figure it out, okay, let's say now I know, okay, now I know this, okay, so I'm working on GM1 projects, okay. Now I figured it out, this is user story, that is user US 149, that is user story 149. This will be, okay, not even just 149, okay, let me just click on this. Expand. Okay, so now my user story is US 150. Good. Now I figured it out my user story. Again, how do you want to figure it out? You need to check with them, check with your lead, or check with your senior, whoever you're comfortable with. Okay, check with those guys and figure it out this user story. No one will be telling you. Okay, so you and this may not be always in the SharePoint. It might be, if you're lucky enough, you might get the information which project you're working on. If you're all good. Otherwise, you need to check it out. Okay. So let's say I figure it out my user story. This is my user story. Good. Testing GM online. Okay. Now, okay. So this is what I get, and this is I made it pretty simple and very easy for you guys. Like what description I have put here is verify all functionalities, including. Okay, good. I put this screenshot too. That means I want to start, that means a business analyst who writes this user story is a business analyst. That means business analyst is telling you to verify all this functionality and features. Don't expect so simple statement from, from anyone, because this user story has been created keeping so many people in mind, because this goes to project manager, same user story goes to the developer, same user story will go to the architect, same user story will be going to Scrum Master, same user story, everyone will be accessing. So don't expect so easy information like, okay, verify this functionality, oh yeah, I got this, now I know what to do. No, you don't have such simple information. You'll be having, sometimes you might have a lot of information, but you need to understand the jargon, what is there in that, a bunch of paragraph, or there might not be screenshot, there might be nothing. Okay, so they just create some user story, okay, just one line statement, that's it. You need to understand what you are going to do, right? Okay, so here, it's very good, it's cakewalk. I made it simple. So here you have this various options here. You go this details, task, children. You see this, right? Everyone can see. I hope everyone can see this. Okay. Children, defects. Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, so let's start with the. So we'll work here with test cases, task. Okay, defects. 3 modules basically. Okay. Details, of course, we'll be looking through this user story. What exactly is this, and what we are going to do? Okay. Let's go to the task pretty quick. So why do we need this task? Okay, so when we have these test cases, why you need this task? Let's say you are working on 3, 4 projects, 5 projects. Okay, these 5 projects, lot of work, right? So you need to do a lot of testing there. Okay, let's say you want to do functional testing, you want to do regression testing, you want to do integration testing, a lot of things. And you need to do for the 5 projects, not easy. You need to understand what the project is and what's going on. So what you want to make your, life is simple. You want to make your life simple. So what you want to do is create task. Okay, so let me create pretty quick one task. So how do you create task? Okay, so go to the task tab, which is located here, as you can see. Okay, need to find out. Okay, good. So here it's they make it easy here. New task. You see this. Now I want to add information here. So what I'll put is, so let's say I'm doing functional testing for GMO Online, right? Functional testing for GMO or GMO Online is the project name. And I want to put add with details. So the moment you click this new tab shows up. Okay. So here, just put as my name. So in the real time, you don't have to put your name because everybody knows what you're doing, who is doing basically. So so here what I'm trying to say is I'm creating it one task. What I'm trying to do in the task is functional testing for GMO Online. And what stage? Make sure to put it in progress because you're working on it. And okay, this color is not really matters that much. And now let's put task estimate. Let's say now I'm putting like 10 hours. That means it will take 10 hours to complete this task. And I want to put some description here, okay, and just want to put some simple like functional listing for GM Online, and we'll just put some, okay, put some information there. What kind of testing you're doing? Are you doing functional? Are you doing integration? Are you doing smoke testing? Okay, not really smoke testing for this. You require all this, but still, what kind of testing you're doing? Just put some information there. Expedite, if you really think this should be expedite because your project is near and something, we can expedite. And if you have some files that you want to share with your team, you can do that too. And notes, whatever notes is there, like, if your boss is really concerned about what task you are putting, then you need to put this notes too, saying that, okay, I've created this functional testing. We'll be creating more tasks based on the requirement. Once it's done, let's click on this button that is create, that is located here on the right upper side corner. Click on create. Okay, good. So now again click on done. Okay, so we have created a task. Okay, so if you see this, overall level, rank. Okay, ID is created TA191. That's a task 191. What is the task name? Your functional testing for GMO online. Okay, good. It's a state, that means you are in progress state, and this is the estimate. Okay, so how much your time you're spending to do this, and how much time it is remaining, how much estimation and how much to do. Okay, and who is the owner for this? Okay, owner will be you. Okay, owner will be normally the tester who is actually testing, right? So this is about creating tasks. So why do you need to create tasks? To organize your work. Let's say you're doing a lot of things. You're doing functional testing, you're doing, integration testing, you are doing regression testing, you're doing system testing, a lot of things are going on. And you are also working on 3 to 4 projects. Then you want to make sure task is being written properly, because you don't want to confuse your test cases, because we'll be writing a lot of test cases, because you will be writing test cases for Chrome, you'll be writing test cases for Firefox, if it is ETL, write test cases for ETL, a lot of things. So that's why you want to keep it simple. So you want to put a task. Okay. So that shows, how much time you're spending on your test cases. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far?
What is meant by that state, P?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Processing. Just working on it.
Estimate H. You're talking about this?
No, state.
State. Oh, okay. So this state is, what is the state of your task? That means, is it defined? So let's say if it is D, that means defined. And when you move to, this bar, that's in progress. Once it gets completed, you see it's C. Okay. So D is for defined, P is for in progress, and C is for completed. Okay. So in progress because you're working on it. Okay. And you can change real time, right? Anytime you can change it. So you don't have to go to that task and you want to do it manually, you don't want to do that. So here you can do it real time. So whenever you do this, it gets updated immediately. And whatever it's stored in the history. So everybody knows what you have done with the task. Okay, that's the state of that task. Okay, any more questions?
Are we gonna use same tool to find the bugs, or is this for?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. How did
No, I mean, are we gonna use the same tool to find the bugs?
No. So this tool is, why this tool is used? This tool is used to write test cases, execute test cases, and report the bugs. To find the bugs, you have already done yesterday, right? You guys have found this bugs, right? 3, 4 email. So that's how you find the bugs. So finding bugs you don't do with this tool. With this tool, you report the bugs. Report bugs to whom? To the developer. Make sense?
Yeah. So I mean, like, is there any other tool we have to learn to find the bugs, or is this we gonna go like the same way we did yesterday?
See, you need to use at least one tool. So here what I'm showing up is, here we have this tool. So what tool? Rally. Okay, in real time, it's not necessary you will be using only this tool. You might use some other tool. But what I want you to know is to get used to the process. So how are we going to do this? How are we writing test cases, how will be executing. So whatever you're doing in the tool, okay, executing test cases, writing, all those things will be done in the tool. Not necessarily this Rally tool. Rally we are using here, right? It can be any tool. So my thing is, don't get addicted to this tool. Now I know only Rally. Now they are saying different tool. Now they are saying HPLM. I don't know. So get used to the process, right? So you will use it. Yes. It might be any, nobody knows. Okay. Any more questions? Hey, so I'm just muting everyone. If anyone have any questions, let me know. Okay, so let's go to the next topic, test cases. So here is, what your work starts. You actually, before actually finding, so here we first found an issues, right? We took a web application, and that web application was GMO Online. We know we were working on project, and we figured it out all the issues. We know how to we know how to find an issue, how to do all these things. We are good now, but we are supposed to create our test cases before that, okay? Because functional testing, if you are doing, you need to create test cases. Why do we need to write test cases? Because you are reporting to your boss, so your boss need to know what you're trying to do, right? So that's the reason you need to write test cases. So your boss validates whatever testing you're doing, what work you're doing. They all validate that and see how you're doing. Okay, so they'll see the performance issues. Okay, so once you go to the test cases, okay, this is the tab. Go to the test cases. Okay. Now to write a new test case, make sure hover your mouse over this action located into right upper right corner. Your action, you see this? You need to just hover your mouse. You don't even have to click on that. And once you hover your mouse, you have this option, new test case. Good. Click on that. So this is how you can, this new screen shows up. It's good. Now, okay. Now let me write test case. Okay, so here name, here you can, what you're trying to do here, let's say I'm trying to write a test cases for functional testing. Okay, functional testing, GMO's website. Okay, make sure you follow the naming conventions. Okay, this testing is like, what you're trying to do, functional testing, or, what kind of testing you're working on. GMO is like what project we are working on. Okay, so I really don't use too much of this double asterisk marks here. This normally I use to report production issues or critical issues. So what I do, instead of my name, right, I'll just put critical issue or production issue and escalate this issue as soon as possible if it is really that serious issue. Okay, and this is really not required. Here we put it to make sure we are writing the test case. So luckily that showed up very right. Okay, so let's go to the description part. If you want tags, go ahead and add some tags, not really that important. Okay, description, you want to write as functional testing for GM Online. Okay. This. Okay. If you have any attachments, you can add some attachments, but at this point of time, really, I don't have attachments, so I'll just put it as blank. And owner of the defect, owner of the test case is always a tester. Okay, so you might be creating, let's say you're in big company, let's say you're working for Amazon, you're working at Google. So what happens in that, right? You will be, there's a lot of test case that should be executed, a lot of people. So what they have is they have separate team member who will just sit and write test cases. So in that case, owner will be, the person who will be executing the test case. Okay, so since that is not really so likely to happen, so we just put it by default as you are the owner of the test case, and you will be writing the test case for yourself. So we just put as owner. Project, make sure which project you're working on. Here you have a lot of projects going on, so we just put as testing team. Project 1. In expedite, if you think really this should be expedited, click on that. Here we'll put it just default.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
You mentioned the owner. That means like the owner means like the tester who is testing the cases. Is that you mean like the owner means?
Exactly. Who is executing the test cases is the owner.
So as a tester, we have to write our own test cases as well, isn't it?
Exactly. Most of the time, or more likely, you'll be writing your own test cases, not someone else. It's a very rare case that someone else will be writing test case for you, and you'll be executing it. That's really, it's very less, occurrence that would happen. But yes, that is also possible. Any more questions?
Just to be clear, maybe I missed some point, but I'm kind of a little bit confused about test casing. Like first we need to find a bug, and then we need to write the test cases. Then we're gonna send to the developer or some other steps we're gonna do after that.
No. So yeah, here we did it other way, but the first thing you need to do is write test cases, then find the bugs. Not first find the bugs, then write test cases. We just did other way. I know it is not right way, but I just wanted you to get familiar with application. That's why we did to find the bugs. But normally, first you need to write the test cases, then you need to work on application.
So how do we know that, like, what are the test cases while we working the project before finding bugs?
So you need to write test cases based on the application. So that's what I'll be showing up, to you. How do we write the test cases? Okay. Here I'll make it easy, right? But don't expect so easy. Normally you'll be writing test cases based on the requirements. What requirements? FRD, functional required document, or we'll go through that all too. So let's hang up to your question once we finish this class for today. We can, if you have any questions on that, I can answer that.
Sure.
Any more questions? Okay, so here, we'll go just to objective. So what is objective of our testing? So here let's say we are only doing on functional testing. Let's not worry about sanity testing. Let's not worry about smoke testing. We just worry about functional testing. So what is our objective? So our objective is to test all the functionalities of a GMO online project, right? Okay. So just make it. Once you have done that, now preconditions. Okay. Before that, let's work product. So work product by default. What is work product? Work product is like attaching this user story. Which user story does this test case belongs to? So that's what you mean by work product. Because you don't want to your test cases to be abundant. It has to be related to some user story, right? Because you're writing test case for which project, which user story in that. So that for that reason you need this work product. So you can search here. By default it has correct user story because we opened just right into that user story. So by default it really creates that. If you want to change it, you can go ahead and click on that cross mark and click on search button, and here, if you know the keyword or a user story name, let's say US 150, right? And you want to search this, and you get that. Okay, so this is what we are working on. So here by default we'll leave that. Type, what type of testing you're doing, functional, performance, regression, usability, user interface. Here we'll go with functional testing. What method? Here we'll go to manual. So if you are using any tool, so if you want to go to the automated. Okay. Priority of this test case. I go with the important, because we want to see all the issues here, so we will put just important. Risk. What is the risk? Medium. Okay, so let's move to preconditions. What are the preconditions? So to start your execution of your test case, there have to be a precondition, right? So here we'll write code should be deployed in testing environment, because we are really doing in testing, not in production or development, right? So just the code should be deployed in testing environment, and smoke testing has to be completed. Okay, if you know more than that, if you remember something, go ahead and add that too. Here for now we'll just stick to this two scenarios. Okay. That precondition means before starting test cases or before executing the test cases, what are the scenarios that we have to consider here? So what we are trying to say is code should be deployed in testing environment. Okay, because we cannot start testing if it is production or if it is developer, because we really don't work on development environment, right? Okay, and smoke testing. Smoke testing has to be completed. What is smoke testing? As we have done, right? It's a random testing that we want to make sure the application is testable or not. So that's why two major preconditions are to be completed before starting this. Okay, let's go pretty quick here. Post condition. So I'm just going to put the code should be deployed in okay. So let's make it good. Regression testing should be completed. Let's say we are good with regression. After regression testing, okay. So now after regression testing, you want to make sure it has to be deployed in the production. So we just put this. Okay. Okay, good. Now, so we have completed precondition, post condition. If you have notes, go ahead and write notes. Which we don't require this for now. Okay. Now here you want to write your test cases. Okay, in this block like steps. You see the steps. Okay, you want to write these test cases. Okay, here is two boxes. Okay, there are two fields. Okay, validation input and validation expected result. That means what does that mean? That means what you are trying to enter into it and what is the expected result after entering it. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, validation input and validation expected result. Okay, what are you trying to input and what is your expectation result after that? Okay, now, so let's say we are doing for Chrome browser. Okay, we are doing for Chrome browser. So let's put okay, let's put this now. So what I'm saying is enter the URL, okay, of GMO, okay, and I have mentioned this URL in the Chrome browser. Let's say we are testing for Chrome browser and we want to put, test this in the Chrome browser and hit enter, okay. And what is expected? Expected is homepage of GMO online should be displayed. Okay, so, this is the expected result. Okay, so this is one test case. Okay, so one step, not this test case. This is one step we have written. Okay, we want to write more. Okay, so if you want to write more, there have to be more space to write. Let's say here. So how do we create that? Okay, go ahead and hover your mouse over this step. You see this step, and beside that you have this icon, small icon. The moment you change it, it says that action step. See this? Once you click on that, it displays, there's a drop down box, shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this means, what does it mean? So this means whenever you want to click some number, that many boxes or that many fields appears on this page. Okay, I want to stick with, 1. So I'll just click on 1. And the moment I click on 1, you see this. Right? Okay, good. Now I've got these 2 boxes, empty boxes or fields. What is the input? See here, what is the input and what is the expected result? So now we need to start writing here test case. Let's say, our project is easy. We don't have to depend on very much of requirements, and application is ready. Let's say this is the application. We want to start writing test cases for this button. Okay. Now I'll show you one flow. Okay, how we write the test case for this one flow. Okay, we already written this one that is saying that enter the URL. Okay, good. After that, this page shows home page of GMO. So this is the home page. Okay, good. Now what I want to write here is click on what's a button? Enter GMO online button. On the web page. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is click on enter GMO online. Okay, so sorry, enter GMO online. Okay, enter GMO online button on the web page. Okay, so that means I know what I'm trying to say is just click on this button. Let's click on this. Okay, good. Now there's a different page that shows up here. We'll name it as online catalog page because the heading is there. So what I want to say here is online catalog page. Catalog. Okay, so this is not GUI. So we just stick to this. Let's put it. The page is navigated to online catalog page. Okay. Okay. So when I'm trying to click on button, that is enter GMO online button, and what is the expected result? Expected result is page is navigated to online catalog page. Okay. Okay. Good. So this successfully completes one step. We have just written but only one step. That's the button, clicking on button. We are not done yet. Okay. Again, you want to write one more test case. Okay, one more test step. Okay. Go ahead, hover your mouse over this action menu. Select the action steps. Click on that. Again, I want to go as 1. I don't want to clog a lot of information, put on 5, and not sure what to do with that. So let's go one by one. Click on 1. Okay, so okay, this is good. I just got one more box. Just after that box, after the input here, again we have the same thing. What is the input and what is expected? Now let's go. We are in this page, and I want to enter some information. Let's put 10. So what I'm trying to write here is enter the value for order quantity. Okay. So this is what we are writing, order quantity, and just entering 10. for the 3% dome tent. 3% dome tents, good. So now enter the value for the order quantity as 10 for the 3% dome tent. Okay, so that means you want to enter 10 value here and do what? Click on place an order button and click on. So just entering is not enough. You need to click on that button. Place an order. Right. Once you do this, that means you're saying the enter order quantity 10 for 3% dome tent and click on place an order button. Good. Now let's see what happens. Okay. So the place order page. Let's say we name this as place order web page. So what I'm trying to say here is page is navigated to what? Place order web page. So this is the expected, right? I mean, this is what we wanted. Okay. Okay, good. Now, again, I want to write one more test step. Go ahead and click on this action option here and click on that. And again, it gets a lot of options. Let us stick to one again. Okay, so this time I have an issue here. Okay, this is my third test case, not second test case. But here, what I'm saying, like, I need to write in second test case. No. First step, I know first step. What is first step? Enter GM online web page and I click on this button. Good. Now this is really, odd. I don't want to write this as a second because I know this is third. So what I want to do is I want to move this step. Move where to third step because it's showing as 2, right? What you want to do in this case, right? Go ahead and, you see these 2 fields, right? 2 box, and you have these 2 icons located into, upper middle corner. See this? You have 2 options here: add action steps and action menu. Click on action menu. Here you have this option to move step down. Click on that. Once you move this step down, now I have made this successfully as third step because this is my third step, not second step. So that's, make sure, if you're having such issues, just make sure you use this action menu option, which is located in every corner of the box of every step. Okay, so you can see this action menu in every step. You see this? Okay, now let's write the third step. Click on proceed with order button. Okay, so I want to click on. Okay, so once I click, let's see what happens. The page is navigated to building information page. Okay, so I want to write is page is building information page. Okay, this is my third step. Now I want to create one more step here. So I don't want to go back because again it shows like second step again. So it's a redundant work. So here what I do is since every action, I'm sorry. Every you have this action menu located in every field in the right corner, so it's easy. So now you can do this. Click on this. Click on one because you don't want to go back again to that again. It shows in second step again. It's like redundant work, right? You don't want to do this. So now it's luckily shown up from fourth step, and since it is our fourth step, what I want to do is enter all the information place the order button. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is enter all the information provided in billing information page and click on place the order button. Okay, so let's do this. Expiry is 17. Okay. Make sure you check this, or if you have your own information, put your own information and click on place the order buttons. So what I'm trying to say is enter all the information provided in the billing information page and click on place the order button. Okay, good. Once I place this, thank you. Okay, online receipt, online store receipt. So, page is navigated.
Online payment receipt.
Okay, so page is navigated to online store receipt web page. Okay, good. Now I want to write one more test case here, one more test step. Click on the same option here, add action step. Click on that. Click on one. Okay, this page refreshes and get one more. So here what I'm trying to write is return to home page button. So click on okay. So click on return to home page button and what exactly happens? Page is navigated to home page of GMO online, right? Oops. Okay, so once we are done, any questions so far? Does anyone have questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Suppose in the home page, the requirement says like the font should be in that particular font. Do we have to include those steps as well in the test cases?
That's a very good question. Actually, here, yeah, I've shown you in general. So fonts, see, I have not talked about these fonts. I have not talked about this. Okay, so what you want to do is first thing first. Okay, you want to write what business critical issues. So, we are working on mostly on this one, right? So this is first you need to complete. Okay, if that is really important, okay, you can write a separate test step. Okay, either last or you can also include here itself. Okay, and add, okay, so what we have tested here, we want to test fonts, we have tested header, we have tested footer, we have tested, based on the requirements. If the requirement says, you can go ahead and write that test case for that.
Is that testing fonts and other stuff includes in the functionality or no?
Right, it includes, but thing is, that is really not a business critical issue, and that's not really a, what I can say is it's a cosmetic testing. Okay, you can say it's cosmetic because, the really fonts kind of thing is green color, blue color, or, it's bold, or it's in 16 times New Roman. So all these things are actually, cosmetic. So I really don't, write test case for that. Even if I have to write, if it's very important, my lead says, no, you need to work on cosmetic test cases, then I go ahead and include that in one step. I don't really write a separate test case for just, fonts or for header or footer. I really don't write. But if it's really required, business really wants that, of course, you need to do that.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so here, we have That's a really good question. So here we have actually worked only on critical issues, that is what's the calculation and what's the user interface. We really didn't work on cosmetic. So you can add. So what I can do is, so for our convenience, let's say even they wanted that issues too. So let's put somewhere. So let's say if I'm writing here, I'll just put it here as okay. Now that is included. Next, if you want to put large amount of data, so you want to put tested for you know many data and many customers data. That's good. Okay, and is there anything else? Okay, so I want to also include this positive scenarios. Okay, so we want to put it, positive scenario, a different thing, and negative scenario, different thing, and boundary values. So here, it's as the sake of convenience, we'll write. Since you also need to go, we need to also do with different browsers, right? So you may not have all the time to do this. So we want to just put in one test case. I'll not say that we have already done that. And what is next? Boundary values. Okay, so this is what you can include, okay, in one test case. And once you have done that, click on save and close. Okay, good. Now we have successfully created a test case. So we have actually created a test case. Okay, it includes various steps there. Okay, let's see if I want to see this. If you want to see what I have written, go ahead and click on this. This number is automatically generated, TC285. Click on this, and you see this. So what are the inputs? What we are trying to do here, and what is the expected result? Okay, so here I have written all the test cases, what we are trying to do and what we are trying to test. If you are doing more than what actually it is, go ahead, include this, because we don't write more than 20 test case. Okay, so even if you're working on, you need to make sure you are not writing more than 20 test cases, because if you're writing more than that, you also need to test. You don't have time to test if you're just wasting your time to write test cases. So 20 test cases is the limit. Okay, so you don't exceed more than that. If it is more than that, make sure you include in this something like this, what I've shown you. Okay. Okay, any questions? Okay, so let's go back. Now we have only written test cases. We have done nothing. Okay, we have just written test cases. You need to execute the test case. Okay, what you need to do is, let's say this test, writing of test case was done before and everything is good. Now you need to now is the time to execute. Okay, now let's say close this. So you have this option, right? ID, name, work product. Now all this information is showing here. It's easy. So just after the project, you see this project module, and just beside this you have this which project you're working on, and just beside this you have 3 different icons. Right? So I'll be taking 5 to 10 minutes. Is it okay to everyone? Just to finish this, okay? We'll just finish this, and tomorrow we'll kind of.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Okay. So you have these 3 options here. result. So that means this is what you need to execute it. This is the test case result. And you have this option to edit. Let's say you miss something or you want to add something, you go ahead and click on this and you can edit. See this, just like this. Okay. Or if you want to duplicate this, that means you have the same framework. You have a habit of writing a lot of test cases, a lot of things for Chrome, for IE. So you want to duplicate it and just change some of the values and information there, and you can also do that. So that's for duplicating this test case. Once you duplicate it, this option shows up here, and just make sure you just remove this copy off, and whichever test case you're writing it, you can add that. Okay, so here we want to click on execution. So you want to click on this, and once you click on this, okay, so this new window shows up here. Build, which build is this belongs to? To check that build, you have to check with your lead or your manager. Here, let's put as some random number 24. What's the date? Of course, today's date. Verdict. Verdict in sense, is it pass, is it fail, or is it inconclusive? So here we'll just put as pass. And duration, let's say we took a lot of time. We'll just put as 8 hours. Tester, who is the responsible tester. And attachment. So here's the thing, since we didn't discuss about this attachment, we'll go through this pretty quick. And notes, you want to write some notes like, successfully executed, functional test cases for GMO online. Okay, I'll just use this. Okay, and okay, so attachment, always make sure you put this attachment, because this is a result. Okay, this work will be monitored by your boss. So your boss will be looking at, so if there is no result, let's say you have executed this and you forgot it, there's a production issue, right? And you get a call from your boss, and your boss says, hey, can you stop by at my desk now? And then that's a trouble. Okay, so that's a really trouble. So you don't get such kind of calls. Okay, so if you get that, that means you're in trouble. So now your boss checks all this. Okay, your written test cases good. Where is the results? How would I know that you really worked on this and this is, you have really passed this test case? How would I know? So that's a very good question. Okay, your boss should know what you are doing, so you need to attach, okay, screenshots. Since I didn't show you, we'll go pretty quick how to do this. Let's say I have this MS Word. Okay, everyone has this MS Word. Oops, this is the wrong way. Okay, let's say I have this attachment open, and let's open pretty quick Paint. Okay, now what we were doing in test case, right? Remember we were writing test cases. So what was the first test case? Enter that URL into that browser. Good. Take a screenshot, print screen. Put it here if it's required. Make sure you just want to add the information which which really belongs to your, and just put it here. Good. Now that was step 1. Okay, what's the next step? Remember, click on enter GM online. Okay, good. And enter the what? Enter value 10 and take a screenshot again. Just remove this. You can do this too in MS Word too, but it's not that convenient to edit in MS Word. Okay, so let's use this and put it this. Okay. Now next, again, what's the next test case all about? Click on place an order button. Okay. Okay, good. And click on enter print screen. We want this test case, right? Oops. Okay, just put this and want to really
We have another class at 11:45.
just use this. This is for third step. Okay, and let's go to the next one. So what's the next one? Click on proceed with order button. Good. Now what's with that? Enter all the information which is here. Now we'll figure it out. This.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, ma'am. I think we have another class.
Sure. Just I'll just finish this. If you want, you can leave. I will have this recording. Okay. So I'll send you the recording. So you're good. You can good to go.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's stop here. We'll just finish this pretty quick. And okay, let's just put one more screenshot here. So this screenshot is most important when you are placing your results. Okay, because you don't want to get into trouble once your boss, your issue gets to the boss. Once it gets to the boss, then it's really serious. So okay, now I'll just put it here, and now I want to save this file. Okay, and let's put it on desktop. Gmo. You can save. Okay. So, okay, now what you want to do is attach this, what we have done in the test cases. Okay, so that was actually supposed to be, taken during when you are testing. Okay, not at, at any time. It's supposed to be tested. These screenshots and all these documents should be tested. This result. Okay, so now you're good. Save and close. Okay, so now we have successfully executed this test case. How do we know this? If you see this, there is a TC285. When you click on this plus icon that expands here, okay, so it's like successfully executed functional test case, and you want to see the result, what you actually have done. So your boss looks to this, and they will look, okay, so this is the document you have attached. Good. That means that shows the evidence that you have tested, that you actually tested it. Because see what happens, right? Let's say there is an issue. There's an issue in the production, and your boss really calls on you and says, okay, there's an issue in production. Who tested this? Now you really need to, have quick time to do some research and see what the issue is and what is showing here. Then once you figure it out, okay, it was not really issue when you were testing it. So what you can say to your boss is like, okay, so when we tested it, there was no really that kind of issue. I'm not exactly sure how the maybe developer might have changed some code. They might have changed some issues. Okay, we're not really sure on this, but you can check our results. So there is a result here, so that make sure that there was no issue at that point of time. Okay, when we tested it, it was really no issue, and since we tested it and it was good at that time, I'm not exactly sure what happened in between, or what code got changed, how many people were testing in this. We are really not sure, but as for our testing goes, we are good. Okay, so that's how you need to attach this attachment here so that you're good. Okay, any questions so far in execution? So that's it. I mean, that's the execution part. So we'll cover the defects tomorrow, since someone has class. Okay, we'll cover this defects part tomorrow. Anyone have any questions so far?
So there is the only way to prove our work is attaching the test screenshot, or there's any other way to.
Yeah, that's the only way to show that you have done your testing and there was really no issues, because we already opened issues and that time the issues were fixed. And that's the only way. Yeah, because your boss will monitor that. Even if you don't say that, they will be still checking that. Okay, so there is no way to escape on that.
Sure. I have few more questions, but I'll ask tomorrow once I figure out. So,
Sure.
all right, thanks.
Sure. Any more questions? Anyone else? Okay. So if everyone are good, can we close this class for today?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.